Hey everyone, and welcome to my third Ask Me Friday. Just want to start off by saying sorry for not putting a video up last week. However, I ended up getting pretty sick and ended up with a throat infection, which meant I wasn't able to speak. However, I've been getting awesome questions from you guys, and I'm going to change how I've been doing the formatting of the video. I'm only going to do 3 questions, and the main reason for that is I want to keep it quite short so you guys don't get bored of listening to me talk. So let's begin. First question is, I want to eat a plant-based diet. However, I've got IBS and eating beans and legumes is quite difficult. Do you have any suggestions? Yes, I do. First and foremost, now there's a couple of things you can do. One is, whenever you're transitioning from eating the foods that you've probably been eating to switching to a whole food plant-based diet, the amount of fiber you've had when you were eating your conventional diet won't be as much as when you switch into a vegan plant-based diet. So when you're switching, there is going to be a time where you might get a bit more gassy or you might get bloated, and that's just because of the amount of fiber that you're having. So one is, make sure you drink plenty of water when you're doing this, because you want to make sure you're trying to flush out everything out of the body. The second thing is, when it comes to beans, I would slowly introduce the amount of beans you're having, and what I mean by that is start off by just having a couple of beans once or twice a week, and try to sprout them. So I would probably go for something like, you can get sprouted beans, you can do them yourself. Simply all you do is just put them in water, and what that does is it allows the bean to essentially become easy to digest, and that's what we want. We want things to be easier on the gut. You can also include beans in slow cooked dishes, because that allows the bean to get cooked thoroughly, and it helps it easy to digest. At the same time, as I mentioned before, the apple cider vinegar before and after meals, or a little bit of lemon juice on things as well, might also help. So slowly introduce them, and the aim is you want to start incorporating them more and more after a longer period of time. However, the key is you want to be fixing your gut health. So yes, we want you eating the beans and legumes, but that also means eating plenty of fruit and vegetables, and by doing that you're allowing your gut to heal, which means it's going to be able to eat things that are a little bit more complex and a little bit harder to digest. So give yourself probably, I'd say, 2 or 3 months before you start to increase your legume or bean intake quite high, and by that amount of time you should start to notice that your stomach's handling it a lot better. So my second question is, I've been plant-based for 6 months and I feel like I'm losing strength. How can you help? And first and foremost, the most basic thing is, you need to ask yourself, are you eating enough food? And the biggest problem when people are switching into a plant-based or a vegan diet is that they're not eating enough. And if you're not eating enough, or if you're in a calorie deficit, that's going to affect your energy levels, which means that you're going to lose strength, you're going to lose size if you want to build size, and it's going to be really stressful on the hormonal balance of the body. So try and use, there's some really basic calorie counting websites, or you can go and see a trainer or a nutritionist, and they can give you how much you want to be eating depending on what you're doing. And obviously the more exercise that you're doing, the more that you're going to be needing to eat. Also on that, you need to make sure that the type of training that you're doing, you're not overtraining. A lot of us tend to do way too much now and don't give ourselves enough time to rest and recover. So make sure that you're periodizing your program and giving yourself a rest week. I do this probably every 4 weeks. I'll give myself a week off, or when I say a week off, I mean a week of mainly focusing on stretching, walking, or yoga classes, just to allow my body to recover from the training that I've been doing. Also, make sure that you're sleeping enough as well, because when we sleep, that's when we repair and rebuild. So if you're not sleeping enough, you're not going to be recovering properly. And make sure that you are drinking enough water, and stress, just overall stresses in your life. If you're highly stressed, your body's going to be more into a catabolic state instead of an anabolic state, which is where it's going to regrow and get stronger as well. So my final question is, how do you get enough protein on a plant-based diet? Now, anyone who's a vegan or is eating a whole food plant-based diet will get this question a lot, and it's something where my response tends to be, I don't worry about this because I don't need much protein anyway, and they tend to look quite confused as soon as I say that. And how I explain it is, when it comes to my calorie intake or my macronutrients, around 80% of my intake is through carbohydrates. So that's fruit, vegetables, you could say nuts, seeds as well, and a couple of legumes. 15% of my intake is protein, and yet again that's coming from everything that I've just mentioned there, and 5% in fat. And as you say, when you're eating a whole food, the majority of foods that you're eating will have a certain degree of protein in, carbohydrate, and some may have fat in, but it tends to be carbohydrate and protein tend to be together. So I don't necessarily worry about that, and 15% of my daily intake isn't much. And at first I thought I might lose a bit of muscle, and I tend to look, I use something called the body stat, which is just a basic measurement that kind of estimates what your body is. And before I went onto a plant-based diet, my muscle mass was around 65 kgs. Since being on there, and this is for around 12 months, well actually probably 14 months, it's gone up now to 67, and it's pretty much close to 68. So I'm eating less protein, kind of, well, less animal-based protein for sure, and having less protein shakes, but my body's able to utilize the nutrients I'm getting, and it's able to help build muscle from there. So it's something that I'm not worried about, and I will always say plant-based sources of protein tend to be easy to digest than the animal-based sources. And you know, there's a reason why people who tend to eat animal-based products, especially the higher protein intake, tend to suffer from heart diseases a lot more than the ones who are eating more plant-based sources. So do not worry about protein, you'll be getting more than enough. However, there are calorie counting websites, which especially Chronometer, that's probably one of my favorites, and I'll show you kind of how much protein you need to be getting. You just type in your foods and I'll let you know kind of where you are with that. So I hope that helps. Right, so that is my third Q&A done. Just want to say thank you for the individuals who sent the questions through, really appreciate them, and I am still looking for more questions, even though I'm only going to be doing 3 a week. Another thing is I released a recipe book this week, so if you're looking for a way to transition from a meat-eating diet into a plant-based diet, this would be the book for you. Or if you're looking to incorporate more fruit and vegetables into your lifestyle, definitely the book for you. 19 meals which are all nutrient dense, super easy to make and cheap as well, so keep your eyes open for that, and I'll put the link in below. At the same time, keep on subscribing to this page. If you're not subscribed already, please do. I'm trying to build a community here, and any comments or suggestions, put them in the comment section below and I will answer them as soon as I can. Otherwise, I will see you next week, and I am still wanting to do the video of my blood chemistry evaluation after being plant-based for 14 months, because I do think it's a video that you should be watching when it comes to looking to improve your overall health and well-being. So have an awesome weekend, guys, and look after yourselves.